Nobody really tells you this, but the real turning point in your healing isn't the loud moments everyone talks about. It's not when you hit that block button. It's not when you leave her on read or ignore her text to prove a point. Not even when you delete all the pictures or stop mentioning her name to your friends. Those are surface moves. Necessary sometimes, sure, but they're not the core of it. The real shift happens quietly. No announcement, no dramatic closure. Just this steady, silent realization that you're done looking back, not out of spite. Not out of pride, but out of peace. It happens slowly at first. One day you realize you didn't think about her that morning. Another day, her favorite song comes on and you don't flinch. Memories still show up, but they don't grip you the same way. They don't shake your focus or pull you down anymore. You're not fighting the thoughts. You're just not feeding them. And little by little, the weight lifts. It's a constant. Circling the silent obsession, the endless wondering what she's doing or who she's with, it fades. It's not anger that makes it fade. It's peace. It's the understanding that you deserve more than reliving the same emotional cycle just to feel close to someone who's not even here anymore. And here's the part that nobody prepares you for. The exact moment you let go of her in your mind is the exact moment she feels it. Not because you made noise, not because you tried to prove anything, but because something shifts. Your energy, your focus, your emotional pull, it's not reaching for her anymore. You've stopped orbiting around her, and you've started standing on your own ground. That's when everything starts to change. At first, she thinks it's a phase. She's seen men do this before, go quiet for a little while just to get a reaction, to make her curious, to pull her attention back in. She tells herself, you'll break soon, that it's just a strategy. Maybe you're ignoring her story. Maybe you left her last message unseen. Maybe you stopped liking her posts, but in her mind, you're still playing the same game everyone else does. Pull away to make her chase. She's waiting for that moment. Where you slip, where you send that hope you're good text, where you post something just vague enough to catch her attention. But that moment never comes. That's when it starts to feel different for her. Because your silence doesn't have that anxious energy behind it, you're not pulling away hoping she follows. You're not creating distance as a tactic. You've simply stepped out not to teach her a lesson, not to bait her, but because you're genuinely no longer available to that version of connection. It's not revenge. It's not punishment, it's growth. She keeps waiting for signs that you're still emotionally hooked, but nothing arrives. And that silence, the one that used to be a weapon in games of attention, now becomes something much heavier. It's not a move anymore, it's your new state of being. You're not creating tension for her to solve. You're not baiting her into emotional reactions. You're just gone from that old cycle. And that kind of silence echoes louder than any argument or goodbye ever could. It's not that you're unavailable to life. You're just unavailable to her. And when she realizes that you're not waiting for her to notice anymore, it doesn't just confuse her, it shakes her. Because she's not used to silence, that's real. Now the contrast between who you were and who you've become starts to hit her in waves. She knew the old version of you, the one who over-explained, the one who chased clarity even when it wasn't offered, the one who kept showing up just to prove you cared. You were the man who couldn't walk away without trying one more time. Even when you were breaking, you still handed her pieces of yourself, hoping she'd finally see the weight of your loyalty. You gave love like it was oxygen, like if you stopped, everything between you would suffocate. And for a while, that's the version of you she expected to stay. But now, that version is gone. You don't explain yourself anymore. You don't react to the small signals she sends out, hoping to pull you back in. You don't post things for her to decode. You don't sit around wondering if she's thinking about you. You've become something entirely different, steady.com, unmoved. You're not performing anymore, not trying to convince anyone of your worth, not chasing a conversation that leads nowhere. And the craziest part is, you're not doing it to prove anything. You're just existing like that now. Solid, quiet, sure of yourself. And that contrast, It's uncomfortable for her, 'cause what she's seeing is someone she always hoped you'd become but never expected you to actually reach. Now the question plays on a loop in her mind. Did I ever really know him? Because the man you are now feels unfamiliar. He's not broken, he's not chasing, he's not arguing. He's whole. And that realization stings more than any words ever could. You didn't just get over her, you outgrew her. And nothing unsettles a person more than watching someone they underestimated evolve into everything they said they wanted. There was a time when you would have cracked. One message from her, one late-night memory dropped into your inbox, and you would have folded. Even when you knew better, even when you told yourself you were done. Part of you still wanted to respond, to explain, to see if maybe this time things would be different. You used to leave the door cracked, just in case. Not wide open, but never fully closed either. A part of you didn't want to let go completely because, deep down, there was still hope mixed with the pain. But that part of you doesn't exist anymore. Now, your peace matters more than her attention. Your clarity matters more than her confusion. You don't flinch anymore when she tries those familiar tricks, posting something that's obviously meant for you, sending a memory, dropping subtle hints. You see it, but it doesn't move you. It's not because you don't feel, but because you finally learned that feeling doesn't mean you have to follow. She notices it too. That calm refusal to be pulled into old conversations, to reopen old wounds, to revisit things you've already healed from. And the difference is, clear, you're not avoiding her because you're bitter or angry. You're not dodging closure because you don't know what to say. You're protecting your peace because now you know what it's worth. You've learned that not everyone deserves access to your energy, especially those who once took it for granted. She used to hold the power to disrupt your emotional balance, to drag you back into unfinished chapters. But now, that access has expired. Not because you hate her, but because you finally love yourself enough to protect your own mind, your own heart, your own life. And that kind of boundary speaks louder than any block number ever could. This is the part she never expected, the part where you didn't just heal, you actually thrived. Healing isn't always loud. It's not always motivational quotes, gym transformations, or flashy success. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's just learning how to enjoy your own company again. How to sit with your own thoughts without needing someone else to fill the silence. It's laughing again, not because you're forcing it, not because you're trying to prove you're over her, but because the heaviness that used to sit on your chest isn't there anymore. The ache that used to live under your skin has been replaced by a steady calm, and she sees it. That's the part that gets her, not the anger, not the spite, not the staged happiness, but the real shift. You're not checking to see if she noticed your growth. You're not waiting for a reaction. You're not watching the door, hoping she'll knock. You built a new door entirely, and you walked through it alone. And for the first time, she's the one left standing in uncertainty, realizing she doesn't know how to reach you anymore because you've disappeared, but because you've outgrown the version of yourself that needed her. She expected you to stall, to hover in that tap, space between healing and hoping, to always leave just a little room for her to return. But now that you're actually living, now that you're not performing healing, but truly embodying it, she's left facing the one thing she never thought she would: your life moving forward, without her in it. And that's what cuts the deepest. You didn't become better to get her attention. You became better because staying broken wasn't an option anymore. If you're not looking back to see if she regrets it, you're too busy creating a life where her absence doesn't echo anymore.